Hello boys and girls, this is Mr. So. Welcome back for another lesson of biology. Today we are going through lesson 14 on chapter 13 about the menstrual cycle, 月經週期. Before you start watching the video, remember to like and subscribe my channel and also share the video to your classmates and remind them to do their revision at home. Let's start. To understand menstrual cycle, we have to first take a look at what happens inside your uterus, 這個子宮啦. This is your uterus. And on top of your uterus, you have a layer of blood. And this layer, we call it the uterine lining, 子宮內膜, is rich supply with blood vessels, glands, and also some soft tissues. You can think about them as a very thick layer of blood. For this uterine lining, under the action of female sex hormone, it can build up or break down periodically, 定期咁樣去發生嘅. For one menstrual cycle, it lasts for 28 days. That means from the day it starts to shed the blood, 流血啦開始, for the uterine lining to break down, and then it grows up again, and then becomes so thick before it starts to break down again. This period it lasts for 28 days. For the menstrual cycles to begin on day 1 to day 5, if fertilization does not occur, the yellow body, it will degenerate. So when the yellow body degenerates, what happens? That means there is no more supply of female sex hormone to maintain the thickness of uterine lining. 個子宮內膜咧冇任何女性荷爾蒙咧去支撐佢嗰個厚度啦。So therefore, the next part is the thickened uterine lining from the last cycle will start to break down. 冇嘢支撐佢嗰個厚度就跌啦。Okay, break down. And the uterine lining and the unfertilized ovum, they will be removed or discharged through the vagina, 陰道, and we call this process menstruation, 月經. Menstruation will last from day 1 to day 5 or day 6, and then after the period of menstruation, from day 5 onwards to day 14, some new follicles will start to develop. And then the thickening of the uterine lining and blood supply will increase again. And on day 14, that is when the ovulation occurs, 排卵. After the day of ovulation, the uterine lining, it will keep on increasing the thickness for a purpose, that is, for the embryo implantation. 胚胎嘅着床啦。And then the ovum will be transported towards the uterus during day 14 to 28 as well. After the shedding of the blood, the uterine lining, they will start to increase and become so thick again. And then after day 28, it will do the shedding again. And let's take a look at the same time for day 1 to day 5. You are seeing the developing follicle in the ovary to become bigger and bigger. Developing follicle will become bigger and bigger and finally becomes the matured follicle. And on day 14 of the menstrual cycle, ovulation occurs. Question number 1. Can you please tell me if day 1 is the 10th of February, then what is the date for day 14 of the menstrual cycle? Give you 5 seconds. Alright, so I think you can count your finger to get the answer. So it should be the 23rd of February for the ovulation to occur. And then, second question. Why having sexual intercourse on such a day, day 13 to 15 or the 23rd of February, will have a high chance leading to pregnancy? Can you explain? The reason for having a high chance of pregnancy on day 13 to 15 is because ovulation occurs around this period on day 14. Secondly, fertilization might also occur after sexual intercourse. And then the sperm and ovum, they can survive for a few days, such that a sperm, it can survive for 3 days, while for the ovum, it can survive for 1 day. And surviving for a few days, it allows them to have a high chance to meet. Last but not least, take a look at the thickness of the uterine lining. Your uterine lining is also thickened and ready for the implantation of embryo. That's why if you have sexual intercourse on day 13 to 15, high chance of being pregnant. After ovulation, the follicle in the ovary, it will become the yellow body. And if no fertilization occur, then your yellow body will degenerate. And then, without yellow body, you cannot hold the thickness of the uterine lining. So therefore, after 28 days, menstruation occurs again. If fertilization occurs, the degeneration of the yellow body will be delayed, and then the yellow body can be kept in the body for a few weeks. With the help of the yellow body, it will release more and more female sex hormone. This helps to increase the blood vessels in the uterine lining and keep it even thicker. Get ready for the implantation of the embryo. Prepare for embryo implantation. 胚胎嘅着床啦。For a healthy female, they are going to start their menstruation at puberty around age of 11 or 12, and then they were going to stop their menstruation cycle at around 45 to 55 years old. We call these no more menstruation cycle menopause, 絕經 or 停經 or 更年期. That means for the ovulation, it will stop. For the menstruation, it will also stop, become less regular, and eventually no more. So therefore, if you have menopause, that means you, as a woman, you can no longer become pregnant. Please go to your textbook, page 15, and do the MCQ over there. Let's do a fill in the blanks to check your understanding of the menstrual cycle. At the very beginning, the very small follicles, we call them the developing follicle. And then later on, they become a lot bigger. This is a mature follicle. And then this follicle, after ovulation, the remaining part of the follicle, it will become the yellow body. Please also write me down the different stages in the menstrual cycle. From day 1 to day 5, this is menstruation. 月經 shedding of the blood 流血啦. And then on day 14, this is the time when you have the release of ovum. We call this ovulation. And then after day 28, you have another new cycle. So therefore, your menstruation occurs again. 又嚟多次月經啦. For the exercise on this slide, I need you to screen cap it and then try to fill in the blanks on your own. If you cannot find some of the answer, watch my video again. You will find all the hints from my video. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.